You've been told your whole life that carrots are the key to good eyesight, but here's something that might stop you in your tracks. In one of the largest eye studies ever conducted, carrots weren't the food that moved the needle the most. It was a common fruit, one you can eat tonight, sitting in your own kitchen, for less than the price of a cup of coffee. And the most surprising part? One of the fruits I'm going to tell you about tonight works best when you eat it right before you go to sleep. Hello, I'm Dr. Kevin Scott. For decades, I've sat across from older adults who told me the same quiet fear. Doctor, I just don't want to lose my sight. And in my last video, cardiologist warns, millions do this every morning without knowing the risk. We talked about how the first hour of your day shapes your heart. Today, we turn to the last hour of your day and what it can do for your eyes. Let me give you a number to sit with. In 2018, researchers at the University of Sydney, publishing in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, followed people for 15 years. Those who ate one particular fruit every day had more than a 60% lower risk of developing late-stage macular degeneration, the leading cause of vision loss in older adults. 60% from a fruit. Before we go further, do me a favor. Type your age in the comments right now and tell me, has anyone in your family struggled with their vision as they got older? I read these and it helps me make videos that matter to you. Here's my promise. Today I'll walk you through the 5 most powerful fruits for protecting your eyes, ranked from foundational to life-altering. And I've saved the best for number 1 because it's the only fruit on this list with real science behind eating it before bed, and it protects your eyes and your sleep at the same time. Don't skip it. Let's begin with number 5, grapes. Let's start with a fruit sitting in most refrigerators right now, grapes. For years, grapes were treated as little more than a sweet snack. Then researchers decided to actually test them. Here's the mechanism in plain English. Deep inside your eye is a small, sensitive area called the macula. It's responsible for the sharp, straight-ahead vision you use to read a face, a price tag, or a road sign. Protecting that macula is a layer of natural pigment. Think of it like a pair of built-in sunglasses your body makes for itself. As you age, that pigment can thin out, and the macula becomes more exposed to damage from light and from harmful molecules called free radicals. Grapes are loaded with antioxidants and polyphenols that help fight that damage. In 2023, scientists at the National University of Singapore ran a careful 16-week trial published in the journal Food and Function. Older adults ate about a cup and a half of grapes a day. By the end, the grape eaters showed a measurable rise in that protective macular pigment, and their blood's total antioxidant capacity climbed by roughly 38%. Just as telling, the people who did not eat grapes saw harmful compounds called advanced glycation end products, which quietly damage the tiny blood vessels feeding your retina, rise by about 21%. The grapes appeared to hold that damage back. Now, let me be honest with you because I always will be. This was a small study, and it measured markers of eye health, not a cure. But it's the first human trial of its kind, and the signal is real. Let me make this human. Picture someone like Robert, 68, a retired mechanic who told his wife he'd never once eaten fruit on purpose. He simply started keeping a bowl of grapes by his reading chair and finished it most evenings. Nothing dramatic happened overnight, but 6 months later, at his checkup, he mentioned he wasn't straining quite as hard to read the newspaper in the evening light. That's the kind of quiet, gradual shift this is about. Not magic, but momentum. Why does age matter here? After 60, your body's natural antioxidant defenses decline, and that macular pigment tends to thin. That's exactly when an outside source of antioxidants becomes most useful. You're refilling a tank that's slowly draining. Here's how you start, tonight, at almost no cost. A small handful of grapes, red or black for the richest pigments, washed and kept somewhere you'll actually see them. And here's your first synergy tip. Hold on to this. Grapes pair beautifully with number 1 on our list. Eaten together in the evening, they stack their antioxidant power right when your eyes are winding down for the night. But grapes are only the foundation, because the next fruit doesn't just support your eyes' natural sunglasses, it's been shown to rebuild them. Let me show you. At number 4, we have a small red berry that's been used in traditional medicine for over 2,000 years, and modern science is finally catching up to it, the goji berry. Remember that protective macular pigment I described? It's built from two specific nutrients, lutein and zeaxanthin. Your body cannot make them, you have to eat them. And here's what makes goji berries special. They're one of the richest natural sources of zeaxanthin on the planet, and they deliver it in a form your body absorbs remarkably well. In 2021, researchers at UC Davis published a trial in the journal Nutrients that genuinely surprised the field. They took healthy adults aged 45 to 65 and had them eat about an ounce of goji berries 5 times a week for 90 days. At the end, the goji group showed a significant increase in their protective macular pigment, while a comparison group taking a standard lutein and zeaxanthin supplement showed no such change. Let that sink in. The whole fruit outperformed the pill. This connects to one of the most important eye studies ever run, the AREDS2 trial, funded by the National Eye Institute and published in 2013. It found that in people who weren't getting enough lutein and zeaxanthin from their diet, adding these nutrients cut the risk of advancing to late macular degeneration by about 26%. And the original ARED study found the right nutrient formula reduced progression to advanced disease by roughly 25% over 5 years. Goji berries are one of nature's most concentrated delivery systems for exactly those nutrients. Let me make it real. Picture someone like Margaret, 71, who'd been told at her last eye exam that she had early changes in her macula and felt frightened by the word. She didn't want another pill bottle on her counter. So she started stirring a spoonful of goji berries into her morning oatmeal and her evening yogurt. What she noticed most wasn't dramatic. It was simply feeling that she was doing something active for her eyes instead of just waiting and worrying. That sense of agency matters more than we admit. Why the focus after 60? Because macular pigment naturally drops with age, and the risk of macular degeneration climbs steeply after 60. This is the decade to actively rebuild those reserves. Start tonight. About a tablespoon of dried goji berries, which you can toss into oatmeal, yogurt, tea, or just eat by the handful. And here's your synergy tip. Goji berries work hand in hand with number 3, our next fruit, because that one carries the healthy fat your body needs to actually absorb the lutein and zeaxanthin these berries are so rich in. Which brings us to a fruit that unlocks everything you've just eaten. Stay with me. Number 3 might surprise you because most people don't even think of it as fruit, but botanically, it absolutely is. The avocado. Here's the beautiful piece of biology. Those eye-protecting nutrients, lutein and zeaxanthin, are what scientists call fat-soluble. In plain English, that means they can only be absorbed and carried to your eyes when there's healthy fat present in the same meal. You can eat all the leafy greens and berries in the world, but without fat, much of that goodness passes right through you. The avocado is nature's solution. It delivers lutein and the healthy fat to absorb it, all in one creamy package. In 2017, researchers at Tufts University published a 6-month trial in the journal Nutrients. Older adults ate 1 avocado a day. By the end, their blood levels of lutein rose by about 25% from where they started, while a comparison group eating potato or chickpeas instead rose only about 15%. More importantly, the avocado group showed a genuine increase in that protective macular pigment. The comparison group did not. Let me put this in human terms. Picture someone like Tom, 65, who loved a good breakfast but always skipped the healthy fats advice because he thought it meant giving up flavor. He simply started adding half an avocado to his morning toast. He wasn't doing it for his eyes, he did it because he liked it. The eye benefit came along for the ride. That's the secret to habits that last. They have to be pleasant enough that you don't have to force them. Why does this matter more with age? Because after 60, absorption of nutrients becomes less efficient across the board. Pairing your eye nutrients with a fat source isn't a nice-to-have anymore. It's what makes the difference between the nutrients reaching your eyes or being wasted. Start tonight. Half an avocado, mashed on toast, sliced into a salad, or blended into a smoothie. And your synergy tip ties it all together. Eat your avocado alongside number 2, and you multiply the benefit, because number 2 is the single richest fruit source of the compounds your eyes crave, and the avocado helps you absorb every last bit. So what is number 2? The fruit behind that stunning 60% figure I opened with. Here it is. At number 2 is the fruit that started this whole conversation, the humble orange. For decades, everyone assumed oranges were good for your eyes because of vitamin C. But the Sydney researchers discovered something different and more powerful. The real heroes appear to be compounds called flavonoids, natural plant chemicals with strong anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects. And here's the striking part. The benefit came from the flavonoids specifically, not simply from vitamin C, which changed how scientists think about eye nutrition entirely. Let me give you the numbers because they're remarkable. In that 2018 University of Sydney study, published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition and drawn from the long-running Blue Mountains Eye Study, people who ate at least one serving of oranges every day had more than a 60% reduced risk of developing late macular degeneration 15 years later. And you didn't need to eat a crate of them. Even eating an orange just once a week appeared to offer meaningful protection. For perspective, roughly 1 in 7 adults over 50, about 14%, already show early signs of this disease. This is not a rare problem, and this is a genuinely accessible defense. Let me make it human. Picture someone like Eleanor, 74, whose mother lost most of her central vision to macular degeneration in her final years. Eleanor carried that fear quietly for a long time. When she learned about this research, she didn't overhaul her life. She simply started peeling an orange every afternoon, the way her mother used to. It became a small ritual as much as a health habit, a few calm minutes and a fruit she genuinely enjoyed. Prevention, at its best, feels like that. Not a burden, but a gentle, daily act. Why is this so important after 60? Because the risk of macular degeneration rises sharply with each passing decade past 50, and there is still no cure once vision is lost. That makes prevention, starting now, everything. Start tonight or first thing tomorrow. One whole orange eaten fresh. Whole fruit, not juice, so you keep the fiber and the full flavonoid content. And your synergy tip, as promised, pair your orange with the avocado from number 3, and the healthy fat helps your body carry those flavonoids and carotenoids where they need to go. Now, number 1. This is the fruit I told you to wait for. It's the only one on this list with real research behind eating it right before bed, and it protects 2 things at once: your eyes and the sleep that your eyes quietly depend on. The most powerful fruit on tonight's list, the one to eat right before you sleep, is the kiwi fruit. Here's why it earns the top spot, and it's a 2-part story. First, your eyes. Kiwi fruit is extraordinarily dense in vitamin C, often more per bite than an orange, along with vitamin E and, yes, lutein and zeaxanthin, those same macular protecting pigments. Together, they form a powerful antioxidant shield for the delicate tissues of the retina. But here's the second part, the part almost nobody talks about. Your eyes repair themselves while you sleep. Deep, restful sleep is when your body does its maintenance work, including on your eyes. And kiwi fruit has been shown to help you sleep better, which is why the timing, right before bed, actually matters. The evidence is genuinely striking. In a study conducted at Taipei Medical University and published in the Asia-Pacific Journal of Clinical Nutrition, adults with sleep troubles ate 2 kiwi fruits 1 hour before bed, every night for 4 weeks. The results? They fell asleep about 35% faster. They spent nearly 29% less time lying awake in the middle of the night, and their total sleep time rose by more than 13%. Separately, research has shown that eating 2 kiwi fruit a day can raise blood levels of vitamin C by around 20%. That's the antioxidant protection reaching your bloodstream and your eyes directly. Let me make this real. Picture someone like Frank, 69, who told me the thing that bothered him most wasn't his eyes. It was lying awake at 3 a.m. staring at the ceiling. He started eating 2 kiwis about an hour before bed, mostly hoping to sleep. Within a few weeks, he said he was drifting off more easily and waking less. And here's the quiet bonus. He was flooding his system with eye-protecting antioxidants at the exact moment his body was settling in to repair itself. 2 problems, 1 small green fruit. Why does this matter so much after 60? Because sleep quality tends to decline with age, and poor sleep is linked to more oxidative stress throughout the body, including in your eyes. Fixing your sleep and feeding your eyes at the same time is exactly the kind of 2-for-1 that becomes precious in your later years. Start tonight, 2 kiwi fruits about an hour before bed. You can eat them with the skin on for extra fiber or scoop them with a spoon. And here's the synergy tip that ties this entire video together. Remember the grapes from number 5? A small handful of grapes with your evening kiwi stacks 2 waves of antioxidants right at bedtime, precisely when your eyes begin their nightly repair. That's the 1-2 punch I've been building toward all along. So let's bring it home. We started with grapes, the antioxidant foundation that helps shield your macula from daily damage. We moved to goji berries, one of nature's richest sources of the pigments that rebuild your eye's natural protection. Then avocado, the healthy fat partner that unlocks and delivers those nutrients where they belong. Then oranges, the flavonoid powerhouse tied to more than a 60% lower risk of late macular degeneration. And finally, at number 1, kiwi fruit, the before-bed fruit that protects your eyes and improves the very sleep your eyes rely on to heal. Here is what I want you to carry with you. It is never too late. Whether you are 60, 70, or 80, your body still responds to what you feed it. Every one of these fruits was tested in older adults, and older adults are exactly who benefited. Prevention and improvement are possible at any age, starting with your very next meal. So tell me in the comments, which fruit are you starting with first? And what's your biggest challenge in sticking with a new habit? I read every one, and I'd love to cheer you on. If this gave you even one idea worth trying tonight, please like this video, subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and share it with someone whose eyes you'd like to protect for many years to come. Your eyes have shown you a lifetime of faces, sunsets, and memories. Tonight, you get to give a little back.